That's why you must say. We had started with this last time, right? We did the 4-figure. Did I show you how to identify 4 and 6 figures? What we have to do? I'll show you now. Okay, for the benefit of Advita also who wasn't there. Then we'll move on to contours. You have the 4-figure grid reference and the 6-figure grid reference. Okay, are you all aware of it? How to do it? Actually, first you have the 4-figure, I'll show you. Your numbering is 325. Now your numbering always starts from the bottom left hand side corner. So here you'll have 25, 26, 7, 28, 67. Same value. I need figure. Now, when you write the number, this is the 4-figure. Your easting will come first and your northing will be written after that. So suppose you have a something located over here in this place. Say you have a church over here. Okay? You have a church which is in this grid. Yes, so you will identify it as 27 and 66. No. No, these are the eastings. So 27, 66. Okay, so this would be, it's like first you take this, first you write the eastings and then the northings, and easting would mean east ke aage. I had told you last time. East ke, because you are starting with your calculation from here. So you start from here, then this is the last easting before the place. So this is the 27 easting and the northing is this. Okay. So your location, the location of this is 27, 66. Okay. Fine. Got this? This is the 4-figure. Say, what if you have a place over here? What will be the location? 25, 66. Over here? 65. What if it is over here? 27, 67. Now the 6-figure grid reference. 27, 28, 29, 65, 66. In the 6-figure grid reference, each grid is divided into 10 parts. So each of these here, this is divided into 10 parts and this is also divided into 10 parts. You get more accurate details here. Say this is 10 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, and it would be the same here also. 1, 2, 6, 9, 10. Now say
zero.
What?
Just before one is there a 0.
0. Like how a scale is. Okay. Now, see your places. Okay, this is the location of the church. So how will you write this? Is 28 3. What is a subdivision? 28 3 and 65 5. Understood? So this will be 28. Sign all of y'all. 28 3 and 65 5. What is it? 28 3 65 5. Where these first three are the eastings, and these three are the northings. Okay, then this is the main easting, and this one here, this is the subdivision. This is the main northing, and this is the subdivision. That's why 6.
So we have to use the scale. We have to use the scale.
Oh, it will be given in the answer. Okay.
Since 4
If-
is asked us to do it by the scale.
If the markings are not there, then you will do
So it will be equally divided.
it will have to be equally divided. Fine. I'll give you another. One of you will come out telling them. Who will come? Who will come? Come. You can do it in the same group since, or we'll do another one. I'll draw this point. Come. Yeah, anything. You can draw a church. Ideally, see, these dots won't come first, correct? The church is located, and on the basis of that, we are calculating. So, but what's the location? Correction
is 27 A
Yes.
and 65 7.
Yeah, write it in the, you can write it in the grid. 7. Correct? Got it? Very good. So 27 3 and 65 7. Right?
It's not if the church is at that line, at the 10th line or the 0 line.
It's over here, then this would be this
29.
29. Wherever it is, you have to see the one nearest to it. No.
If it has,
So if it is-
0,
Yeah.
28.
If it's in this direction, then it would. But if it's closer towards or it's on that, then it would be the 29.
And if it's on 28 line, and so there will be no subdivision. Or will be right 28.
As
0.
in draw the location and show.
This half here.
And then it would be in both the groups. Then it would be in both.
So what will be right?
So 65. And what is it here? 9? 9, no? 65, 9. And 1. 28. It would be 27, 9. And the 65, wherever it is.
6.
And the other grid.
The other grid will be
This would be 28, 1, and
28, 65.
that same order. Okay. Bit hard? Okay. Now, the text that you have the contours, no? I just want to see one. Because these are there in this if you all don't have it, I'll show it to you. This one you don't have, no? V-shaped valley, U-shaped valley. This. Huh? Open that. Before that, we will. This everyone has it. You have it. You got it. We'll do from this one. What's the page number? Please combine 1 and 2 tables. And you all have maps in your resource book. See. And this sequence. Okay, so this correlates to, I think, that's page 21. Just check this, go to page 21. No, not in this. In your resource books. You have these set of maps where you don't have it. Okay, you will get it. You take it from the office. So it's written topo sheet question 1, question 2 up to 6. Correct? Have I right about the page number? 21, no? You don't have it? Why? Anyway, when you go home, just write on that topo on the first topo sheet, write page 21. and open page, which is this page 4. In this, both are combined. So page 4. That part, identification of landforms. Okay, this you all understood, yeah? 4 figure, 6 figure. Yes. Okay. The chief methods by which relief features may be indicated on a flat surface of the map are as follows. You have pictorial or qualitative methods and mechanical or quantitative. What are they? Pictorial or qualitative. You don't have a textbook now, why don't you sit with it? And here you have mechanical or quantitative. Now, under mechanical, under pictorial or quantitative, you also don't have now, so you also sit with him, with her, sorry.
This is the first chapter.
It's actually the second, but then in the volume both are combined. It's connected to the first one. Okay. So pictorial or qualitative, you have layer, tinting, or coloring. Now in this method, a color scheme is used to show relief on the map. Okay, details of colors has been given later. Then you have hill shading. This method is used to show slopes with the help of shading. The sunny slopes appear brighter in this method. Sunny slopes which are exposed to the sun. Then you have mechanical or quantitative methods. In this you have contour. Then you have a term called contour interval, vertical interval, and horizontal equivalent. Contour. A contour is an imaginary line drawn on a map joining the points having the same elevation above mean sea level. Okay, means the height of two places where it is the same, you have lines connecting. Like earlier, you all must have even done this with reference to rainfall. Do you all remember doing this in your map book? Or seeing it in your geography books? Map work you might have not had to draw contours, but they were there in your geography books. Where areas having the same rainfall were all connected and you will have lines, remember? So those are contours. Here we are talking about elevation, that is height above sea level. Contours are also known as iso heights, where iso means equal and heights means heights. Equal heights because they connect, they are lines which connect places having equal height. The method of showing relief through contours is perhaps the most accurate and common and popular. Now, contour interval. Contour interval means the difference of height between two consecutive contours. What is contour interval? What is it? Difference of height between two consecutive contours. I showed you in detail. Then vertical interval is the vertical distance. Vertical means this way, the vertical distance between two contour lines. Horizontal is the horizontal distance. Okay, horizontal equivalent is the actual distance between two points or contour lines. See the example given here. Can you see those two images? You can see those two hills there. One is higher, one is shorter, and they are both connected. And simultaneously, you can see the contour that they have created. Correct? So, the figure represents an island with two hills linked by a lower ridge. The dotted lines in this diagram represent the levels on the hillside at which heights of 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 and 400 respectively are attained. Can you see those dotted lines? Here, these. The hills have been drawn and then they have made the first dotted line here as 100. Then there is one more 200, then 300, 400, right? Now, they therefore represent contour lines. If the island were to sink or the sea to rise by 100 meters, the 100-meter contour level would become the new coastline and would represent the sea level. Because it is taken, the calculations are taken from the sea level, above sea level. In the diagram, the contour map area has been drawn. You can see in turn over here, these lines. Here you can see these lines. This is one, where 100 is written. Then there is one more. Then there is one more 300 up to 400. And here you have one less. Here you have it only up to 300. Why so? Yes, because this one is shorter. Okay? Then, spot heights. These are marked on a map by a dot and an associated number. Like dot 341. You'll find that dot over there. Benchmarks. These are marks on buildings or other permanent structures. These marks are shown by letters PM along with their height 580. Triangulated heights. These points are show height and are marked by a triangle and height, example triangle 866. This you would have had even in your map book earlier where the same Mount Atlas is shown and then next to it the triangle and the height. It's the same thing. That is known as triangulated height. Relative height. In areas of steep slope, the difference between maximum and minimum height is represented by the letter R, which indicates relative height. Thus, if one finds 3R dot or dot 3R written on a topo sheet, it means that the concerned place is higher by 3 meters than its natural lowest place. If it's 6R, it means what? It is 6 times higher than its natural lowest place. Now, interpretation of color tints. The following colors are used on the map to show various features. Yellow, cultivated areas. Green, wooded and forested areas. Wooded again means you have trees over there. Blue, all water bodies which are perennial. Perennial means yes, which are continuous, which have water throughout the year. What is the other one which is not perennial is known as? Correct. They are known as seasonal because they'll have water only during a particular season. Say during summer, the ice caps are melting. At that time, there is water there. Otherwise, there is no water flowing. So those are seasonal. So blue is for all water bodies only which are perennial. Wells, river channels, tanks, reservoirs, etc. Then brown. Contour lines with their numbering are brown in color. Stony waste, gravel waste, and sand features. Anything basically to do with the earth. Red, white, barren land, uncultivated area, or islands in a river. Barren land, uncultivated area, or islands in a river are of which color? White color. Red, grid lines, metalled and unmetalled roads, cart tracks, pack tracks, settlements, huts, buildings. Then black. It is used for surveyed trees and have numbers written on their trunk. They are surveyed, they have taken account of the trees. Okay, so that is done in black. River banks, broken ground, dry streams, heights, railway lines, telephones, telegraph lines, lines of latitude and longitude are all written in black. Now you have these conventional signs and symbols. This you can do that later. Come to your textbook. This page, it's 15 here. Okay, where we start with steep slopes. Is that the first one in your book also? Is it? So the first one is? Second? Just tell me all of that. Steep slopes. Then gentle slopes. Then uphill. Or uphill. The valleys. Bridge. Water divide. Escarpment. Drainage systems. Then there are again, those also subdivided. Okay. So first is steep slopes. Now you are clear about steep and gentle. Steep means and gentle means. Steep means come drop.
Goes up and down.
Which goes up and.
I'm not sure.
Okay, doesn't matter. You must be right, but you're not confident of it. That's okay.
But I think I'll just steep means gentle means
No, it's just gentle means
gentle is also straight.
gentle would be more slanting. Like if you're climbing a hill and you're finding it easy to walk, so that would be a gentle slope. And steep is when it is very difficult, like you're doing the, what is it called, rappelling? The mountain climbing and all that you do. Those are steep. So draw.
So this can be gentle and steep.
Exactly. Correct. Right over there gentle and right over there steep. Good. So clear with what is gentle and clear with what is steep. Let there be no confusion here. So now first we talk about a steep slope, then about a gentle slope. Now when the land suddenly slopes up or down, it is known as a steep slope. In a steep slope, the contours are drawn close to one another. As you can see in figure, here it is 2.7. Is it the same there? Huh? So in figure 2.7, you can see that the slope is steep, and below that you can see the gentle slope. Can you see the difference in contours? Gentle slope, the change of elevation is gradual. Okay, it's not so steep. Now the contours in this type are spaced apart from each other. You can see here there's a big difference, whereas in the one above with steep slopes, the contours are very, very close to each other. If it is even more steep, the contours would be even more close to each other. Then a hill. A hill refers to a landform having a summit at a high elevation. Summit means peak. A conical hill is like a cone which has a broad base, that's figure 2.9, which has a broad base. Its slope is almost the same. You can see it's quite balanced. If you draw a line in the center, it's quite balanced. The slope is the same on both the sides. Contours showing a conical hill are almost circular with peak of the hill as their center. Here you can see the center at what elevation can you see it? See the smallest circle. Which number is written over there? 600. Now here see, we spoke about contour interval. I told you I'll tell you later when we come to it. So here you can see 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So here the contour interval is 100. It's at a distance of 100. Okay, so a conical hill, it would be because it is balanced, the hill. Okay, a conical hill. Then a mountain is higher in elevation than a conical hill and has more contour lines representing it. A hill is always smaller, a mountain would be taller. Then next is the V-shaped valley. Can you see how that is shaped? Just like a V. So, when the two sides of a river valley are very close and steep, there is hardly any flat land between the two sides. The cross section of the valley is V-shaped. They occur in the upper course of a river. The contour lines of this type of valley are in an inverted V shape. Okay? It's like a kind of a reflection if you take a 3D. It's like from these contours you have to create a 3D image. So what they've actually done is from the 3D they've created contours. Okay? It's like an inverted V decreasing inward. This section shows a V-shaped landform. Then U-shaped valley, it would be similar to a V-shape. U-shaped valley, they are broad. What is that? Flat floored valleys formed in the middle course of a river, or they may be formed by the action of glaciers. How by the action of glaciers? How can a valley be formed by the action of glaciers? You all did weathering and erosion, remember? What is that? What is erosion?
by the river.
Yeah. Yes. When water moves or when ice moves or glaciers move, they kind of break the land around it from where it is flowing. That's known as erosion. Weathering is again breaking down but in its own place. Being carried forward is a part of erosion. Then hanging valley. Hanging valley is over there. See in figure 2.11, that image over there. Is formed where the tributary valley meets the main glacier. The tributary valley higher than the floor of the main valley because the main glacier erodes a deeper U-shaped valley than its tributary. Gorge or canyon. Gorge or canyon is given down. How is it going to be in a canyon, Grand Canyon? It's like a wall. So the contours are going to be close by or far away. Close by. Gorge or canyon, it's a deep and narrow valley having steep slopes. Its contours are the same like that of a V-shaped valley because the shape is almost the same. The only difference being that the contours of a gorge are closely spaced and the V formed by them is very narrow. Okay. Ridge. Ridge is figure 2.13. Ridge. It's a long and narrow highland sloping steeply downward on its sides. It has a number of summits. You can see in the ridge, in the contour, you can see those 4 circles, 700 elevation. Okay, so those represent the ridges, the summits. Okay, summit means the peak. You can see there are 4 peaks. It's a long and narrow highland sloping steeply downwards on its sides. It has a number of summits. Contours showing a ridge are elongated and are closely spaced. Sometimes there occur peaks and passes across a ridge. Then water divide. That's the watershed. A line which separates 2 adjacent drainage basins is known as a water divide. In this you can see there's a line and then you have contours on opposite sides. And you can also see arrows going on either sides. It resembles the shape of a ridge on both sides of which a number of streams flow. It's a ridge which separates the tributaries draining towards one side of it from those draining towards the other. On the 2 sides of the watershed or water divide, the slopes must be opposite and downwards because it's separating those 2 water bodies. So the water has to go on either sides and has to be sloping on both sides. The side on which the ridge is steeper, the contours are drawn closely together, whereas the side on which the ridge is gentle, the contours are drawn far apart. So can you see where is it closer? Yes. I mean, where is it more steep? It's closer there, which means it is more steep over there. Okay. Where is it most spaced apart? That's the most gentle. So which is that part which is the most spaced apart? Where it is the most gentle? Yes, this side towards here. And it is the steepest around this. Even over here it is steep. Okay. Then escarpment. Escarpment. It is an abrupt, comparatively long and regular steep face of a hill. You can see it over here on figure 2.15. A ridge or a plateau. An escarpment has a narrow top with a steep slope or scarp on one side and a gentle slope or dip on another. Did you see that scarp? Can you see it? So one side you can see is more steep and the other side you can see has a gentle slope. The steep slope has a gradient of 1:3 and close contoured lines because it is steeper. The contour lines you can see on the top, the contour lines with elevation of 100, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first, those lines, those are very steep because it represents the other side which is steeper, which is steep. That's why they are close together. And the gradient of 1:12 is for the gentle slope. A ridge with steep scarp in the front and a dip slope on the back is called a cuesta. They are caused by uneven erosional work of rocks on both the sides. The highest part is called the crest. The scarp and dip always occur together. Scarp is what? This
Scarp is the steep one.
Yeah, and dip is the gentle one. Boys, you are not saying anything. Girls are saying. Huh? Lost a word. You getting it now? Then, sometimes erosion by running water leads to the formation of V-shaped valleys on the dip side of an escarpment. Erosion by running water leads to the formation of V-shaped valleys on the dip side. Dip side is which side? This side. Huh? Such an escarpment is called dissected scarp. Drainage systems. Drainage is this you now. Go back to that. It's given well in the resource book. This is given very well here. Okay, they've given empty boxes also where you can practice. So a drainage system you have the book, no? See the book, no? A drainage system refers to the origin and development of stream through time, while drainage pattern means spatial arrangement and form of streams. So first is this trellis pattern, which is also known as rectangular pattern. In this pattern, the tributaries can be seen meeting the main stream at right angles. What are tributaries?
Like the main river which subdivides, right?
Yeah. Now, but then see, even when you are saying, you're doing this.
No, it's the main river and the which flow the branches.
The branches flow from the main river, no? It's actually not that. It's the other way around. The small branches are meeting the main river. That's a tributary. Okay? So it's like here in this case, how I wrote it for that. Those tributaries are here. This is the main river. And that is the pattern. So here you have these tributaries. Can you see? It's in a, now this is moving this way actually. So this means this and this means a bigger river or the ocean. Then you have one more here. Then you have one more flowing in. Okay, and then you have one. So what is the shape? It's rectangular, like a square shape, right? It's like a square square shape. So this is known as the trellis. Then the next one is the dendritic. Like this looks like the branches of a tree. Dendritic. Dendritic drainage pattern. In this pattern, the tributaries come from all directions. See, the tributaries are coming. The tributaries are not going from the mainstream. They are coming. Because these misconceptions are there. Even when I was younger, I used to feel tributaries are the river is dividing into smaller parts, so that is a tributary. It is actually the other way around. So, in this pattern, the tributaries come from all directions to meet the main river. See in that in the resource book. Page turn. This boys. Next one, you come and draw. You come here, stand here and you please speak to others. Come, both the boys come here. Take it. Both of you hold one. Dendritic drainage. Book didn't get only.
All the tributaries come to multiple tributaries.
But you know the he is going and getting. He doesn't even want to get the book. Dendritic. In this pattern, the tributaries come from all directions and they meet it like the branches of a tree. Don't draw the same. One draws one.
Yes.
Okay. Draw smaller so you can draw more. Now don't erase it. It's okay. Next, you draw the parallel drainage pattern. How is it in parallel? Parallel drainage pattern comprises numerous rivers which are parallel to each other and follow the regional slope. Regional means in that
They don't meet or it's not.
no, they meet now. But the flowing of it is the style in which they flow, the pattern in which they flow. It's that only. They all go, they all meet. But these flow in a different way and these flow in a different way. Okay, so these are this is the parallel drainage. Parallel how? This one here. This one. Don't see from here. That one. The resource. Use that. Right over here, the name of what you drew. What's his name? Huh? Raghav. Draw that. Write the name of what you drew. Correct. Right over there, what type it is? What type is it? Next, Raghav, you draw the radial and what is his name? Septan. So next, Raghav will draw the radial one and Septan, you will draw the disappearing drainage pattern. So radial, how is it? It is also known as radial means what? From one central point is going in all directions, like the sun rays. So to the radial. Sometimes come, you can draw it here. Raghav is not giving a place to draw. Draw here. The disappearing drainage pattern. sunflower, it's looking like. But actually, it's like that only, radial from the center. 4 petals. Drainage, TRAI. Okay. Good. Now I'll call you again. Sit. Okay. So the first one was which one? The rectangular one. Then dendritic. Then parallel. Then radial. Then disappear. Now settlements. What are they? Nucleated or clustered, dispersed, linear or ribboned, radial, rectangular. In nucleated or clustered, clustered means? In this. It will be there in your exam. It's not there in the book, but it will be there in the exam. So that's why refer to the
So if it is not in the textbook, then how will it come in the
see
exam?
the previous year papers. Textbooks also different people, different schools use different books. So one standard thing, it comes here, it comes in the boards. That's all. See now they have a different textbook. So it cannot be that what is not in her book won't come. What is not in her book, you have in your book, then why you study? It won't come. It's not like that. This will come. So, what are the others? What can you say? Common, but it's not like that. It's not like that. He was like, yes, good idea. Okay, so first is the nucleated or clustered pattern. In this, houses are very close to each other. Okay, and are constructed in a compact manner. Source of water, need of defense, collective comforts and privileges have been the basic reason for the growth of nucleated settlements. Means they're together in one place because of all these reasons. They get water or for defense purposes or whatever. Next is dispersed or scattered. You'll have to come and draw this. Dispersed or scattered. How is it? You can see in that image, one here, one here, one here. So, dispersed settlements are found in areas of sparse population. Sparse means less people are living over there. Sheltered valleys or at foothills. Here, foothills means at the bottom of the hill, mountain, okay, where there is plain land. Here, buildings are away from each other. They are almost isolated. They are large farmhouses. Next is the ribboned pattern. You can see it's like a ribbon, right? When houses or buildings are constructed along the road, like on either sides of the road, at either sides of a river, canal, river or railway line, the pattern of settlement emerged is known as the linear pattern. Like if it's a river, they have good access to water, or if it's a river to carry out their activities, it is made near the railway line. That is what type? Linear or ribboned. Then you have next is the radial. Who had drawn radial? Raghav. Right? So radial pattern, we finished with this. In this pattern, buildings or houses spread out from the center, just like you had this. In the same way, you will have settlements in that pattern. Then the rectangular, Again, we had rectangular even in drainage is the same. So where two or more main roads cross each other, you can see there are two lines over there. So it's on all those four sides. Okay, houses built accordingly give a rectangular pattern. That's it for this chapter. But go through your yes, you all can solve a lot of exercises are there. Those maps, get the resource book. Those topo maps are there. And also these. Yeah, all of you will have to learn. Convention, signs and symbols. There are 2 pages in the resource book. So come draw. I will see you next week. This is quiet. I was like, I was feeling that if I don't call them now any moment, they might be like dozing off. The girls were answering.
I was understanding.
Huh?
I was understanding.
But how will I know if you don't respond? Then I'll feel that you're not understanding. Huh? He also he was also not talking. Someone understand. But I understood. Understood, no? Okay, good. I'm happy. Okay, chalo. See you all next week. You're done or one more?